Hi everyone. Whoa, my face is so purple over here. What the heck? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see me? Is everything working all fine? We're just gonna let some people trickle in from the Star Trek premiere. But nice to have some people here today. Let's just make sure that everything is working fine, I guess. Yeah, Silent Evil said that he made it this time. This is awesome. Hey, yeah, so basically my face is very purple, so I need to change some of the lighting over here because I'm like a purple people eater or something right now. And then we can talk about Star Trek, everyone, and then we can talk about Star Trek. So what if I go like this? Is that better? No, what if I go like this? No, what if I go like this? You know what? You're just gonna have a purple face. I tried to have nice blue lighting today for you guys, but we're just gonna have a purple face. Let's see what everyone is saying. Got a nice few people in here, guys. I'm gonna be answering some questions, and we're also gonna be doing a little bit of ranking of the Star Trek DS9 season 1 episodes today, which is gonna be awesome. And yeah, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, because I'm going to miss a bunch if you ask them on chat. But if you have any questions you want to answer, then send a super chat or something, because I will 100% see those super chats and I'll answer every single one before I answer the questions in the chat. Um, yeah, my face is just going to be purple and pink, everyone. Let's see if anyone's saying anything in the chat before we get started. How is everyone doing today? And yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. I don't do this very often, but I'm very excited to be here today. And yeah, how'd you guys like Duet and In the Hands of Prophets? Those episodes are absolutely amazing, aren't they? We will talk about them in a sec when we rank them in a minute over here. Let's just give everyone like 1 or 2 more minutes. Let's see if anyone is saying anything. Matt Tyree said I have to learn to play the theme on the keyboard behind me. You know what? I actually should, and then I can just play it to myself and be at peace the entire time, like meditate and float in the air while I play the keyboard. That's what I feel. Okay, let's see. Jay Lynn said, "Can't believe we're already moving on to season 2." I know. If you're like watching on Patreon and stuff like that, I'm already 6 episodes into season 2, and season 2 spoilers for you guys that you haven't seen my reactions to season 2 yet. But season 2 is peak. Season 2 is so good. I'm like jumping out of my chair excited for season 2 right now, especially those first 3 episodes. But even those Warner episodes in season 2 are amazing. But this isn't about season 2. This is about season 1. Let's see. Any other questions? David Carnival said, "First time in here. Honestly, not really a Star Trek guy, but I missed the last live stream and I wanted to be here this time." Well, thank you so much, David, for coming. Even if you're not a Star Trek guy, you can be here with other Star Trek guys and gals, hopefully. I'm really excited. Greetings from Germany, says Eimer. Sorry if I mispronounced that name there. Welcome. I've never been to Germany, but I would love to go to Germany one day. That would be so awesome. Like, let me know where to go in Germany. If Adam W said, "Because of Star Trek Insurrection, I've already heard of the Dominion." Yeah, the Dominion was very briefly mentioned in the last episode of Star Trek DS9 that I watched. I think it was like I don't know what it was, episodes 5 or 6 or something. It was one of those episodes of season 2, and someone briefly mentions the Dominion to Quark, like some alien with like a really red face, and I was like, that sounds important. So I'm really excited to see what the Dominion has. Anyways, guys, let's just get the stream started and let's start ranking the episodes. So over here in the background, let me turn this off and let me move my camera a little bit. Look at this, guys. Wow. It's a ranking chart. Isn't this awesome? And I've put all the episodes down for you guys to see, and we can kind of go one by one and rank them from peak stuff, great, good, okay, and meh. Notice that I don't have any bad. Like, the bottom tier isn't bad, because I didn't think there was a single bad episode of Star Trek Season 1. So many people said Star Trek Season 1 was bad, or Star Trek Season 1 had garbage episodes. And now that I have finished Season 1 and I have watched every episode, I can say with a full heart that I liked, at least thought that every episode was not bad. There were some episodes that were definitely better than others, and there were some episodes that were definitely more amazing than others, such as Duet, for example, and stuff like that, Emissary. But we'll get to those in a second. What is this black magic indeed, Greg? What is this black magic? Jojo said tier list. He loves it. Let's just get started. But yeah, again, I didn't think there was a bad episode, which is kind of crazy because I was expecting some trash. I was expecting some stinky, smelly trash, and I didn't get it. So that's awesome. So let's just start this tier list, guys. DS9 Season 1 is only considered bad compared to the rest of itself. Oh, the rest of itself. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. I mean, Season 2 is already better than Season 1, but Season 1 is really good. Like, I have to keep in mind that I really enjoyed Season 1 as I go throughout the rest of the show. Anyways, I keep procrastinating. Let's get this started. 1x1 and 1x2 Emissary. This is where, like, I messed up those, the episode orders where I just put 1x1 Emissary and not 1x1, 1x2, which is why, like, In the Hands of Prophets on my channel is episode 19 instead of episode 20, because Netflix has Emissary. It's just 1x1. It's a 19 episode season, and I was going off the Netflix rankings. But anyways, Emissary 1x1. For me personally, you guys can also help me with this if you would like. If you want to put down what you think Emissary is, like how you would rate Emissary from peak stuff, great, good, okay, and meh. And then I'll kind of take your word into account as well as my own word for the episodes, and we'll kind of do like an aggregate score of what we think, where we think the episodes should go, and that's where we're going to put it there. So you guys, where do you think Emissary should go? And then I'll let you guys know where I think Emissary should go. And I'll read the chat while you guys catch up to me asking you this question. Dion just said Alan Moraine. Oh, Jojo said, I'm so excited for this 7th season journey. Dude, I am so excited for this 7th season journey. It's unbelievable. Like, I haven't been this excited to watch a show in so long, and season 1 blew me away by actually how good it was for a first season of a show. Emissary is peak. David said great. Jonathan said peak. Emissary E for Emissary said great, outstanding. Peak stuff, great. Peak for sure. Guys, a lot of you guys said peak. A lot of you guys said great. I'm gonna have to... Oh, can I pick this up? I'm gonna have to go with peak stuff. Emissary is peak stuff. It was the best pilot of Star Trek that I've seen so far. It was one of the best episodes, if not the best episode of the season. I know Duet is there as well in the Hands of Prophets. There's some other hidden gems that I liked as well, but Emissary is something special to me for an opening, and it's, you know, it's like movie length. It's so much fun. We get a lot of plot developments. We get a lot of things that are very important later on in the season. We get Jessica. We get the Cisco Bulge. What more could you want? Peak stuff, Cisco Bulge equals peak stuff. So I'm gonna go peak stuff today. Big Gator said fair. Cody Cameron said peak stuff. Dion said oh, and I say peak too. Okay, what about past prologue? Now, some of these episodes I haven't seen in a long time, so I'm actually going to read the description while you guys give me your rankings for past prologue. A member of the Bajoran Underground seeks asylum on DS9, attracting the attention of the Cardassians and Klingons and testing Kira's loyalty. There's like a little fly on my screen over here. What was this one about again, guys? Maybe this is a sign that this one wasn't the most amazing one in the world. Well, I guess it did have Picard. Oh, I forgot that Emissary had Picard. Past prologue equals great, Greg? What am I missing? How am I forgetting this episode if it's great? It's the first Garrick. Oh, you're right. It's the first Garrick episode. E says past prologue's good. Big Gator says good. Past prologue not as good. Okay, yeah. I think I remember this episode now. Garrick, first Garrick episode, so that already knocks it up from meh and okay. But people are saying great. People are saying good. I'm gonna put it as just good. For now, I'm just gonna put it as good. And also, by the way, if I have like, I'm not doing it in any order, so if I had like, this isn't an actual one, but if I had put Babel up here, it doesn't mean Emissary is better than Babel. It just means that like they're both peak stuff. There's no like better or worse. Maybe I'll do that a little later. But anyways, past prologue, I think I'm gonna go good because it's good, but it took me a while to remember what the episode was. So I don't think it's great because I think I remember the great episodes, but the good episodes and the okay episodes and the meh episodes, they kind of mesh together to me a little bit, if that makes any sense. Okay, moving on now to Babel. Babel, the one that I just put in peak stuff, which I don't think is actually peak stuff. A virus that causes its victims to speak in gibberish. Dude, I remember this episode. What do you guys think? What is Greg Somm said that he's heading out to the Gamma Quadrant. See you later. Tell me how it is. Tell me how the Gamma Quadrant is. Garrick is one of my favorite characters, says Matt. That's pretty awesome. Empire Jeff says Garrick bumps the episode up. Yeah, exactly. Garrick bumps the episode up. If Garrick wasn't in the episode, I think the episode would be okay. No, I don't know. The episode would be good still, even without Garrick, but I don't know if Garrick bumps it up enough to great. Anyways, what are you guys saying about Babel? Babel is okay. Babel. I always want to say Babel. Babel is okay. It's good. It's good. It's okay. It's okay. Good. Yeah, I think Babel is good. I had a lot of fun with this episode, and I'm glad you guys are saying it's good and okay. I had a lot of fun with this episode because I thought the virus thing was so goofy, the way that people were just saying random things, like they would just be talking, all of a sudden they just go rosebud and chair, bottle, jersey, you know what I mean? And they just start saying the most random words, but in like very coherent sentences. It was just so much fun. I can't say anything else. I mean, I think good episodes, they're not bad by any means, they're not peak by any means, but they can still be a lot of fun. Just because they're good, it doesn't mean they're not fun. Like Babel, I thought was really fun, and if I ever rewatched the show, if I rewatched the show, I was gonna say I would watch these good episodes, but I think I'd watch every episode of season 1, to be honest with you, because there wasn't an episode that I disliked enough not to rewatch. Anyways, past prologue was the first Cure episode. Yeah, not how aphasia works. David, I don't mind if it's not how aphasia works. It was still really funny. Oh, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, Matt, I really liked how they even typed in gibberish. That was so much fun. It was just like the most random episode I've ever seen, and it was also really fun, and probably one of the more fun episodes of the season in terms of just funny plot. That's what I would say. Anyways, next episode, what we just did Babel. So next episode is A Man Alone, episode 5. Mounting evidence points to Security Chief Odo as the murder of a Bajoran criminal under investigation. And Keiko tries to establish the school. The school makes an appearance in this episode. What do you guys think of Man Alone? Let me just see if I missed any questions or anything. And yeah, guys, while we're doing this, if you have questions for me, if you have questions for other things about Star Trek in general, just let me know. I'm just reading the chat. We need to have a little bit of silence. It's always a little weird to just be in silence alone in my room. A Man Alone is great for me. I love the clone mystery. It's good. It's okay. Man Alone is great. A Man Alone is okay. Oh, so we're getting a lot of different things here. It's good mystery. It's great. Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting a lot of conflicted things here. I was going to put it in good. I think there's going to be a lot of episodes that is in good. It's going to be a pretty stacked category. I think I'm going to have to put it in good, though, as well. Because you guys are saying it's okay. You guys are saying it's good. You guys are saying it's great. So this is kind of like the median between the two. We get Keiko's school for the first time. Odo's under investigation for murder. No, but now that I'm thinking about it, see, some of you are saying it's okay. I think I'm moving it down to okay, because now that I'm still thinking about the episode and I can't really remember too much about it, so I think I have to bump it down to okay, just because I have no memory of it at all, if that makes any sense. But the next episode, I have a lot of memory over it. I am really curious about your guys' interpretations of episode 6, Captive Pursuit, because this episode has the task. More establishment than anything else, says Adam. Cody Cameron said it's okay. Adam also said it's okay. Greg said it's good. The murdered his own clone. Jonathan said he agrees with me with okay. I'm glad we can get some agreed. Captain Pursuit is great. Okay, guys, hear me out. Captain Pursuit is great. And you guys, I hope you guys agree with me here. So Big Gator 5 said peak stuff. Iron Bear Milk said great. Jojo said, that's actually a good metric. If it has left a lasting impression, they should have a high rating. Exactly. I sometimes the episodes can be seen as bad from people, but if I have an impression of it, something was right for me, right? And so, if I don't remember an episode, it's just gonna be okay. But if I remember an episode a lot, it's gonna be at least good to great. You guys keep saying Captive Pursuit, great. One of my favorites of the season. Ah, I am Tusk. We're putting it into the great category. The first great episode of the show, and the second best episode of the show so far, in my opinion. This episode is so much fun. We have the Tusk. We have Tusk. You know what I mean? He's Tusk of the Tusk. We have this green lizard guy. He's being hunted. It's really sad, but he escapes at the end, and he's on the run, and I wonder if we'll ever see him again. I don't think we will, but I like to imagine that he survives forever. And I know, like, the honor is that he dies honorably through the hunt and stuff like that. But I just hope with all my heart that the Tusk, or that Tusk, I guess that's his name as well, or his, I don't know, it's like his name, but also like his species and stuff like that. He's like a creation or something. I'm not really sure. But anyways, I hope that Tusk lives on. You know what I mean? Like, I hope he just has a good life. He lives old. He marries someone. He settles down. They have kids. They live on a farm. I've invented my whole backstory for Tusk. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, Matt. I'm glad Matt is saying Tusk is great too. Okay, while I'm reading your guys' chat, what about Q-less, episode 7? David said it's just okay. David has Tusk in it. That has to at least elevate it to good. Oh, Cody Cameron, peak stuff for Captive Pursuit for sure. Empire Jeff, what happens is Tusk is so good and evading that they never catch Tusk. Exactly, Empire Jeff. This is what I'm saying. Tusk, I believe in him so much that he's never going to be caught. Big Gator 5 said Q-less is just sadly good. Q deserved a better episode. Q-less is okay, says Greg. Yeah, guys, okay, so here's the thing. I remember Q-less like very well because it has Q in it. But if Q-less didn't have Q in it, I probably wouldn't remember the episode as well as what I should say. Iron Bear Milk said Q-less is okay to meh. Okay, Cork saves Q-less. I remember the Q episode so well. I'd say good to great. Yeah, okay, but see, I'm gonna have to put it in. It's like in between okay and good. It's like in between these two categories right here, but I'm going to have to put it in okay. I think Q you can make an argument where Q elevates the episode to good. I think you can make an argument for that. And it has some really good moments. The Cisco Q moment is so much fun where they're fighting each other and there's a crowd of people and Cisco's like, well, I'm not Picard or something like that. Like, that was such a bomb line. It was such a cool line. But the whole thing about like that prized possession and there was the auction and there was an egg. See, I told you I remember this episode. Like, some of these episodes, I can't really tell you what happened in them too much because they were so long ago now. But for some reason, Q-less, like, I remember it very well. But I remember it not because it left an impression on me. It was just because it had Q in the episode and I was really excited to see Q. But I think it's just okay in general comparatively to the rest of the episodes. I still had a really fun time, don't get me wrong, and it wasn't a bad episode for sure for me, but it was, I don't know, it was just a little underwhelming. Like, they could have used Q a little better. That's my opinion. Okay, guys, what do you think of Dax 1x8? By comparison to the TNG-Q episode, it's just okay. Yeah, that's why I was feeling a little underwhelmed. Silent Evil sent that. Dion said fair enough for Q-less being okay. Thank you, Dion. Let's see. Jonathan said it would be meh without Q. Yeah, I kind of agree. It would be like a very unmemorable plot without Q. Big Gator 5 said he's not rioting on that ranking. Thank you for not rioting on the ranking. It really does mean a lot right there. Oh, let's see. Anything else? Q-less, I'm not Picard. Yeah, exactly. And the boxing, yeah, those two are some really good. Dax was great, says Jojo. Dax is so hot, says Matt. Well, Dax is so hot is not a it's it's not a that's not a category, but I should just make that its own category. Oh, that would be so funny. It's a good Trill 101. It's good. It's good. It's good. Dax is the one that has like, yeah. Okay. I'm going to put Dax in good. I think Dax is I don't know. I think Dax is between good and great. This is the thing. But I think overall, compared to some other episodes that I'm going to put into great later on, I think Dax is just good. I really like the whole courtroom drama. It really reminded me of that Data Picard episode in TNG where they're trying to see if Data is I don't know, a sentient life form or just an artificial life form. Or I guess they know he's artificial, but you know what I mean? Like they're trying to see if he's a sentient life form. And that this episode Dax reminded me of that. And it brought up some really interesting, I have to like, I don't know, hiccup or something, but or yawn. But it brought up some really interesting questions about Dax and the Trill in general and their symbiotes and how like are they completely connected? Is if one does something, can you blame like the Dax personality, or can you blame the Jadzia personality, or can you blame Dax the symbiote, or is it a mixture of both? If like a Trill murdered someone in one life and then the symbiote was removed and gone to someone else, can you still charge the symbiote for crimes? Like there are some really interesting questions surrounding the Trill that weren't really answered, but they were left to linger on the minds of the audiences, which is what I really enjoyed. You know what? I'm talking about this episode and I like it, so I'm putting it to great. I have moved it to great. Iron Bear Milk said Dax is good establishing the Trill. Dax is the last DC Fontana Star Trek episode. Dax is good, great world building, but not much else. Yeah, okay, but as I was talking about it, I realized that I like this episode a lot. I really like courtroom dramas. I like the murder mystery subplot and stuff like that, the affair subplot, if you will. I don't know. I think Dax is great, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it's not as great as some of the other great episodes. It's like Grood. It's like Grood. You know what I mean? It's like great good. It's like both of them combined. But I think it's a weak great and a strong good. But I'm putting it in great because I enjoyed talking about it right there. So I'm moving it up a category. Dax sacrificial love that transcends a lifetime. Peak, says E. And that is peak. That is peak. Anyways, what do you guys think of episode 9, The Passenger? Now this one is an interesting episode. I personally really enjoyed this episode. This one was really fun, and I think this one is the one with Evil Bashir, right? Evil Bashir is so much fun. What do you guys think of The Passenger? And I'm going to go through these comments here and just see if anyone's saying anything. E said Dax is peak, it's beautiful story. Silent Evil said it's good. Dax is good. Dax is good. Great world building. Dax, yeah, okay. I read these ones. Big Gator 5 said The Passenger is okay. I have no memory of The Passenger, and I watched it recently, says David. E says The Passenger is good. I love The Passenger. It's great, says Jojo. Passenger is good. The Passenger is good. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with everyone here. The Passenger is good. I remember it for Evil Bashir and Evil Bashir alone. It's the one where, like, I forget what the guy's name is, but he's, like, his criminal, and he, like, implants this microchip into Bashir when he dies at the very start of the episode. And then Bashir is doing all these evil things, but we don't know it's Bashir. We think it's that woman, and then we find out it's Bashir, right? And then he's leaving, like, the space station on the ship, and he's like, whoa, I'm Bashir, and he's all, like, I don't know, crazy and just so eccentric, and it was so much fun. I love seeing Evil Bashir. I mean, Bashir himself is a very, like, I don't know, he's a very Shakespearean guy, and seeing that personality become evil was just so cheesy and so campy and so much fun. And so I love the episode for that. And also the lady just straight up murders the villain at the end of the episode. Like, he's like trapped in this like prison cell, this like little box of metal or something like that, and she just bah, 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 bah. She just shoots him. He just explodes, and it's like, and she's like, job done, he's gone. It was pretty awesome. But best episode ever, yeah, okay, Sean, hold your horses. The best episode ever is next, but let me finish talking about The Passenger real quick. That's why I think The Passenger is good. I think story-wise, the mystery and stuff is decent. Not the best, but decent. But Evil Bashir bumps it up from okay to good for me, if that makes any sense. Okay, guys, next episode is probably the best episode of all time, and I think I can just already put it in peak straight away. Move Along Home, episode 10, right? Am I right, guys? You guys agree with me? Let me, Slow Talking Bashir is good or okay. Best episode ever. Next, Sean Craig says. David Badshir. Badshir, that's so... I need to talk about Badshir. Move Along Home equals good, says Greg. Move Along Home is a hard meh. Yeah, I mean, guys, Move Along Home has Alamarine in it. And that alone should put it into peak stuff. You guys have been quoting Alamarine since like the first episode of this season. No, Greg, don't screenshot it, please. I'll be banned from the Star Trek community from life. But this song, Alamarine, has been throughout my chat forever. So somehow, for some reason, it has left a lasting impression on your guys' minds. I sing it when I'm walking around for some reason, because somehow it left a lasting impression on my mind. Now think about it, piece it together. It's peak. Alamarine, count to 4, Alamarine, then 3 more. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm joking, guys. Alamarine is meh. It was the first meh episode of the season, but I still had so much fun with it. Like, I feel bad putting... Did I say Alamarine? Did I call the episode Alamarine? I feel really bad putting Move Along Home in the meh tier because I actually enjoyed it so much, because I was expecting... Here's the thing. I was expecting a bad episode going into the episode, and I think the episode was also made worse because it was airing at the same time as Star Trek The Next Generation, which was like season 6 or 7 at the time, which was like really good Star Trek The Next Generation. And so you watch Star Trek The Next Generation, you're like, wow, this is amazing, Star Trek is amazing. And then you watch Move Along Home and you're like, well, what is this dumpster fire, you know what I mean? But after just watching the show in general, DS9 in general, and not having the affluence or the influence of Star Trek TNG like on me, like from recently watching that and stuff like that, it's like I don't know, it's just really entertaining. It's a really cool concept. I love the concept of like this virtual board game and stuff like that, where you as a person are actually thrown into it. And I love some of the games are really cool. Alamarine again is so awesome and stuff like that. Yeah, Jay Lynn says it's a funny meme episode, and that's exactly what it's like. It is just a funny meme episode. Jonathan says it belongs in meh. Jimmy said attaboy. Big Gator said fair enough. I love watching Avery Brooks sing that at conventions. Yeah, guys, if Move Along Home didn't exist, Alan Moraine wouldn't exist. Avery Brooks singing Alan Moraine wouldn't exist. Kira singing Alan Moraine wouldn't exist, where she's Alamarine. You know what I mean? So there is so much hate for this episode, but I think at the same time, there is so much hate for this episode because people secretly love this episode. Anyways, that's enough talk about Move Along Home. Let's get to episode 11, The Nagus. Now, this is the one with Mr. Ballsack Inverted Earlobe himself, The Nagus, and yeah, I want to hear you guys' opinions on this because I actually have my own opinions on this episode as well. I don't know if they'd be controversial opinions, but maybe controversial opinions at the same time. Jonathan said they turned the virtual video game idea into a whole series a year later. Oh, that's interesting. Greg said, meh. They had dice. Yeah, they did have dice, didn't they? They had like these cool dice, and they had these little figures in this like 4 or 5 tiered game board system. I would like to play this game one day. Someone make it. Did I know it was Avery Brooks' birthday this week? No, I did not, Adam. Happy birthday, Avery Brooks. I know you're not watching right now, but happy birthday. The Nagus is good. Nagus is good. It's an average episode, I think. I love the Nagus. Hairy ears. Dude, in season 2, you really go inside his hairy ears, and it's so disgusting. Oh my god. The Grand Ballsack, exactly. Great. I love the Nagus character. The Nagus is okay. See, okay. Since this is a consensus between the both of us, I agree with Greg where I think the Nagus is okay. But a lot of you guys think it's good. And I think it's like a strong okay. So I'll put it in good. It'll be like a weak good for me, if that makes any sense. The Nagus for me, it was a really fun, like, Ferengi episode, and I love Ferengi, don't get me wrong. I didn't love Ferengi at the point of me watching this episode as much as I do now. Like when the Negus made his return in season 2, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Ferengi episode, rules of acquisition, let's go. That was the episode of the Dominion, the rules of acquisition. That was a great episode. But when I watched this episode, I still wasn't like the most massive fan of Ferengi, and I was starting to love them a lot, but I still wasn't the most massive fan. And I don't know, the Negus just kind of like annoyed me a little bit. I don't know why. He just like bugged me. It was just like I was like it was like a fly on my shoulder. I was like, get off my shoulder. You know what I mean? I don't know why he bugged me so much, but I did like the, again, seems to be a theme here, the murder mystery subplot or the assassination attempts on Quark and stuff like that. That was really fun. Quark becoming the Negus was also really fun. You know what? I think it's less of a okay and more of a good to me now that I'm talking about it, because there were a lot of things that I liked. I like that Rom had something to do in this episode as well. Like Rom tried to kill Quark and then Quark was proud of him at the end. That was a really nice moment. I really hope Rom evolves in the show because I like his character. I just feel bad for him every time he's on screen. So I hope he has like a huge heroic moment later in the show. In season 2, he has a moment, I think it's in the rule of acquisition, but it could be in another episode or the episode after that one as well. But he just like, he saves Quark, but he just screams in the most maniacal, insane way I've ever heard. He sounds like an ambulance siren, and you can look forward to my reaction to that scream when you watch that episode in, I don't know, 4 weeks on YouTube or something like that. Let's see. Okay, while I'm reading the chat, episode 12, Vortex. This one will be interesting because I have thoughts on this one as well. Yeah, Jonathan says this episode created the Ferengi world, so it gets points. That's awesome. It introduces an icon, says Sean. He will have better episodes later. What are you replying to? Great. I love the Negus character. Yeah, okay, yeah. Season 2, he had a better episode for sure. Inconceivable. Yeah, he's the guy from The Princess Bride. I love that guy. You're going to love the Ferengi episodes as the show goes on. They're hilarious. Yeah, I think they're like a nice little piece of levity, you know what, for the show, if that makes any sense. I gotta shoot. Enjoying all this. Love for DS9. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely day, Sean. See you later. You can catch Livestream. It'll be recorded, so you can always catch the end of it later. But have a good day. Frank should be Negus. I agree. Frank should be Negus, shouldn't he? I should email the writers and ask them to make a season 8 of DS9. And the whole storyline is just Frank becoming the Negus. That would be really cool. I consider myself shot. Vortex is okay. Vortex is good. Vortex is meh. Vortex is okay. It's between an okay and good. Yeah, okay. So my thing on Vortex wasn't as like profound as I thought. I thought Vortex was just okay. I'm gonna put it, I don't know. I'm not ranking them anyways. I'm just putting them here. But Vortex, I think, is just okay to me. It has some really good Odo moments for sure. Don't get me wrong. Like, really good Odo moments. The moment at the end of Vortex where he's on his ship and he's contemplating who he is, what his people are, who his people are, the little glint and glimmer of hope that I don't know, what's his face, the guy in that episode and his daughter, that they gave him for finding his people. I thought that was a really nice touch at the end of the episode. One that has definitely, like, it's an impactful episode for me for sure, in terms of that ending was very impactful. And the Vortex stuff looked really cool as well. I think they reused assets from like the second movie or something like that, The Wrath of Khan or something. But the Vortex looks so awesome. It was the first time where I was like visually, besides Emissary, it was the first time where I was visually stunned and wowed by Star Trek Deep Space Nine in terms of the production design and the level of production into something. Because when the ships were flying through the Vortex, when that big ship was chasing them and stuff, it looked really, really beautiful. The Grand Frankus, says Dion. The Grand Frankus. Now that is thing. Vortex is okay. There will be a better Odo episodes. I'm guessing there will be better Odo episodes. Odo is a character that I think will have amazing episodes. This episode was like a little taste. A taste that was, you know, when you eat some food and you can tell that there's some good stuff in it, but it's just like very salty. That's what I felt like this episode was. It had like these bits of really nice things in it, but overall it was just like, it was too salty to fully digest. But I'm excited. I'm excited for later episodes of Odo, because I think his character can have some really cool stories attached. Anyways, episode 13, Battle Lines. What do you guys think? And I'm gonna read the chat. And Jake teaches Nog to read. I forgot about that. And Jake teaches Nog to read. That moment is so... Oh, that moment is so good. I forgot what episode that was in, but thank you, who said that, by the way. And Chadenhall. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, but you're right. Jake teaching Nog to read was absolutely amazing. Battle Lines is peak stuff, says Big Gator 5. Wow, okay, Battle Lines equals great. Jonathan Banks is great. Kai Opaka's death and resurrection, great Kira stuff. Nana has some great moments. One of the few season 1 episodes I rewatched. Great. There are better character episodes for every character, says Jonathan. Talking about the Vortex, obviously. Great. Battle Lines is meh. Wow. So we have great peak stuff, great, and then Dion comes in with a little meh. He comes in with a little side swipe here. You know what I mean? Battle Lines is peak. So we have a lot of people saying great and peak. And you know what? I thought Battle Lines was great. I didn't think it was peak. The peak episodes I'm saving for a very small handful, but I thought Battle Lines was great. I thought there was some great story. I did think that Kai Opaka and Kira and the way that they interacted was absolutely phenomenal. When Kira was talking to her and just like on her knees, and Kai Opaka was like sitting up, and they were talking about each other and stuff like that, or talking about Kira and Kira's backstory and Kira's willingness to fight and stuff, and if she's like a terrible person. That was a really great moment. And again, these Kira episodes, man, Battle Lines was basically a Kira episode mixed with some like cool micro technology war episode, but it was basically a Kira episode, and it was a phenomenal Kira episode. Kai Opaka is still on this planet, I think. I don't know if we're ever going to see her again, but she's on that planet just living life. You know what I mean? She hopefully she's secured peace by now on the planet, but I have no idea. Battle Lines was good, says Cody. Love the actress who plays Opaka. Yeah, she's just like really serene. You know what I mean? She's just really nice to watch because she's very calming, and she seemed like a very fair Kai. And I'm really scared for Vedic Win. If she becomes Kai, that would be madness, guys. That would be madness. Although Vedic Win, I hated her, but at the end of episode 3 of season 2, if you know the moment, there was a moment where I was like, you know what? She's not horrible. And if you know the moment, you know the moment. Anyways, episode 14, The Storyteller. Also, while I'm waiting for you guys, Battle Lines had the guy from Breaking Bad in it, which was awesome. I've seen Breaking Bad, I just didn't recognize him. He looks like a rip-off Sylvester Stallone in the makeup, but I thought the whole subplot with people getting resurrected through micro and nanotechnology and stuff like that was awesome. I'd say great. Time for the new Kai to make Bajor great again. Sadly, Camille Saviola, who played Opaka, just passed away a couple years ago. Oh, that's really sad. The Storyteller, great. The beginning of Bashir and O'Brien's friendship starts here. The Storyteller is great. Great moments between Bashir and O'Brien. Wow, we got 2 greats, and then E comes in with an okay. When I was watching this episode live on the premiere and the comments after it, people didn't really like this episode. A lot of people said this episode was bad. A lot of people said this episode was okay. I personally, it's okay, it's good. Yeah, Dion, I agree with you in terms of it's her saving her own behind, but at least it showed that she had some sense of morals, I think, in terms of the Cardassians and not wanting to be involved with the Cardassians. That was very interesting to me, but I do agree into some point, but it made me like her a little bit more. Anyways, the Storyteller for me is just good. You know what I mean? It's not great. I don't think it's not peak stuff for sure, and I don't think it's okay. Like, I didn't think this was like a mediocre episode because, again, just like you guys are saying, O'Brien's okay, let's really focus now, says Greg. That's awesome. Some people saying, Jonathan says it's meh. Some people say it's okay. A lot of people saying it's okay, but some people said it's good. I say it's good. I think it's I just think it's good personally, but maybe for the stream's sake, we can say it's in between these two. It's like a high okay, low good. But the Storyteller for me is just good because I really liked the Bashir stuff. I really liked the O'Brien stuff, and I really liked, how they interacted was awesome, but also like the actual story was interesting. The way that there's like this cloud monster coming over this village was interesting, although it was kind of sad to me how like they had to lie to the villagers and had to keep lying to the villagers. Like, I understand why they made the lie originally, but the fact that they are keeping this lie alive, it felt like a conspiracy to me in a way. I don't know. It was a little strange. I was a little unsure about how I felt about the ending of the episode. But that being said, I still enjoyed the episodes. The whole scenes where they're telling the story and the cloud is coming in, it's about to destroy their village and stuff. It's so epic, the wind swirling around, and you got like that old guy there at the start. He's like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? Like total main character moment. It's so much fun. Storyteller is a bit Oh, it's a bit too TNG, says Dion. I can see it being very TNG, that's for sure. But you know what? So I feel like there were some other episodes that were TNG in this season as well. I don't think that's necessarily a critic point. I think the show was just trying to find its footing at this, so I don't really take that into a criticism consideration too much. But overall, I thought the storyteller was good. I forgot what the subplot of it was, but I'm pretty sure I enjoyed the subplot of it as well. I seem to remember enjoying the subplot, but I don't remember what the subplot was. Anyways, episode 15. What do you guys think of Progress? Now, this is one that I'm really interested in your thoughts. Greg said Progress is great. It's a great Kira show. Mullibok was a fun and sad character and played so well by Brian Keith. In many ways, this episode feels like a setup for Duet. Dude, I cannot even agree more. Dion said he stopped the stream dead for a sec. David said that Progress is great. That's awesome. The storyteller is okay. People just still saying the storyteller is okay. Progress is great. I'm glad we're gonna get some great. I'm gonna drink some water while you guys' chats roll in over here. Okay, so we're getting some interesting stuff. We're getting some greats. We're getting some peak stuff. We're getting some good. We're getting some happy endings when she blows up the old man's house and his pizza oven. I know it's not a pizza oven, but I'm going to call it a pizza oven. Peak, good. It's okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to go against the grain on this one. I mean, if I went with the grain, it would be between good and great. But for me, drumroll please. I'm putting it in peak stuff. This is one of the peak episodes of the show, and I think this episode, for me personally, is one of the hidden gems of the season. It's an episode that I heard no one talking about. It's an episode that I'm sure a lot of people, just like Big Gator over here, forgot that this episode existed. But this episode I thought was so well done. Again, another Kira episode. Kira episodes are the best episodes. Just her going to this moon to get this guy to leave because it was going to help all of Bajor. And you think that the episode is going to go like very predictably in terms of she's going to get there, she's going to learn about this guy, she's going to learn about this life, and then she's going to be like, no, this guy can live here, we can do something else, and this guy can live here. And then they're going to be friends, and it's going to be this happy ending. But no, the ending doesn't end happily, and you know, progress has to happen. You know what I mean? The progress of civilization, the progress of society has to happen. And someone said this on the chat, let me just find it really, but the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few. I can't find it right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, E said the needs of the many ... So the needs of the many outweigh the needs of this few. And the episode ends with Kira blowing up his house, blowing up his pizza oven, his barbecue pizza oven, which is really sad. And it's like this very melancholy, bittersweet ending where he lives, but he's going to live unhappily. But the success and progress of Bajor, or Bajor, I guess as they call it in the show, can continue because now no one's on the moon. And so it's this really interesting ending to an episode where Kira hates what she just did, but she knows she has to do it. The guy is obviously upset and probably doesn't really want to live anymore because his whole life has been destroyed. But the needs of the many, Bajoran society in general, is going to profit greatly from this act that Kira just did. And displacing one man, how bad is that in connection to the rest of society, you know what I mean? The rest of the billions or millions of people on Bajor. So very interesting episode. There was a huge Cisco speech in it where Cisco gets beamed to the planet and he talks to Kira. You know, Kira's working on this pizza oven and he's talking to Kira about what is necessary and stuff like that. Really good stuff. And I think it is some hidden peak Star Trek within Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 1. David said it's beautifully acted by both. Guys, what do you think of episode 16? Probably another peak episode if I know you guys right. If wishes were horses, but I'm going to read the chat while you guys think about this. Big Gator said it's my ranking after all. It's our ranking, but it's like our ranking, but I have like 60% of the voting power and you guys have like 40%. You know what I mean? Because I could just put Move Along Home all the way at the peak right now and you guys can't do anything about it. But I won't do that. Peak is fair. Forced relocation, a major moral conundrum, said E. TNG did forced relocation better. I don't know if I watched a forced relocation episode of TNG. Maybe I did and I'm just forgetting about it. You guys have to let me know. David said if wishes were horses was meh. Greg said the exact same thing where he said it's meh. My wish is that this episode didn't exist. That is just absolutely epic. If wishes were horses is meh. It was clearly trying to be TNG and DS9 worked best when it did its own thing, said Adam. It's okay. It felt like an original series episode. I agree with that, actually. It felt like an original series episode to me. But just like a lot of you guys on the chat, if wishes were horses is meh. And I think these are the two only meh episodes of the entire show, or not the entire show, but of the entire season, which is something to be said about a season where people said that this season sucked. You know what I mean? Like, everyone said that this season sucked going into it. And now looking at this tier maker thing over here, there's only 2 episodes that I think are meh and that we can generally agree on is meh. Obviously, there's going to be some discrepancies. Some people will think, I don't know, Vortex is meh, or A Man Alone is meh, and stuff like that, or even The Storyteller is meh. There's going to be discrepancies. But for the most part, we can generally agree that meh only has 2 or 3 episodes tops in season 1, which is saying something about the quality of DS9 in general, because people think DS9 season 1 is bad compared to the rest of the show. Just how good, I'm so excited, just how good does it get? That's pretty cool to me. But If Wishes Were Horses, I think has a really cool concept. I love the idea of imagination. I love the idea of, things from the imagination coming to life, and it's like these beings that are using the people on DS9's imagination to conjure up these things. I love like the twist that the wormhole thing that was happening, like that vortex thing that was like gonna destroy the station was just in like Cisco and the crew's minds. I thought that was really awesome. We get the baseball player and the baseball and stuff. I'm pretty sure that baseball is from If Wishes Were Horses, and it's plopped on Cisco's desk forever, which is awesome. Jonathan Boblets, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. I'm going to read it right now, and then we can get into episode 17, The Forsaken, or as I called it, The Foreskin, because for some reason I read The Foreskin every time before I say The Forsaken. But Jonathan said, the forced relocation episode is coming up with the TNG combined story this season. Oh, so in season 2 we get a little bit of forced relocation. I don't know why I'm so excited about that. It's not something that's good. It's not something that's good at all, but I'm still very excited for it. So yeah, guys, what do you think of episode 17, The Forsaken? Wish horses defo bottom half of the table, says Jimmy. Roy says if wishes is okay. I like the 2 times Dax and the awkwardness of Bashir. The 2 times Dax is actually something that's awesome. You're right. Who said this? Jimmy said, I've kept the table nice and symmetrical. Maybe that was the plan the whole time. I'm trying to keep the table nice and symmetrical. That's the whole thing. But it looks so satisfying. I don't want to add anything else right now because it just looks so satisfying. The Forsaken is good. Forsaken is great. It is a hidden gem of season 1, says Greg. The best Odo episode of the season. Forsaken is the one with Troy, right? Luxwana Troy, like Deanna Troy's mother. Like it, good. Odo is melting. Yeah, okay. I need some other people to say if it's good or great or meh, but I think I know where I'm going to put this episode. I think this episode is also a tale of 2 halves. Silent Evil said it's okay. Jonathan said it's great. Changed my mind. Yes, it was a great episode. Okay, so it seems like we're getting majority of greats and goods. The Forsaken is good. I'm going to put it in great because personally, I really enjoyed this episode. I think the first half of the episode is weaker than the second half of the episode is like a lot weaker. I think if it was just judging on the first half of the episode alone, it would be between like okay and good. I think like it's fun, but it's just kind of like you think it's just gonna be like this Odo Luxwana Troy like weird romance thing where she's going after him and he doesn't want it to happen and he's like worried about it and stuff. Like that's what you think the plot is gonna be. And then they get trapped in the elevator, and the second half of the episode elevates it from like this okay good status for me to like this great tier status for me, which is super interesting. So maybe I should just put it in good because it's like a mixture of the two, but I'm going to keep it in great because the last, I don't know, 15 minutes of the episode are definitely some of the best moments of season 1 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. When, again, what Jonathan said, or I think it was Greg said, yeah, when Greg said Odo melting into Luxwana's lap is one of the best moments of the series, I don't think he's wrong. I think that moment that moment was so touching for me, that was so memorable for me, just the way that she was so open and caring. And after seeing her for the first half of the episode, seeing like this like switch where she becomes this super caring person who listens and who wants to help Odo and stuff like that, the way that she supports him and the way that she's like slowly letting him like come out to her in terms of like he's like melting and stuff like that because he needs to go to sleep, and the way that she is very accepting of it and she doesn't look down on it, she doesn't act all weird about it, she's just completely normal. She takes off her wig at one point to show him that she is similar to him in ways. Just really good stuff. And then when Odo says like that was one of the most unexpected things or something like that, and then Odo said something, and then she's like, that was one of the nicest things that someone has ever said to me. Just really good stuff. And the ending of this episode, I think, elevates it so much. The first half, again, I think it's okay to good. Second half, great. Second half of this episode when they're trapped in the elevator is absolutely amazing. The Forsaken is one of the best Troy episodes. Okay, I'm glad that people are saying that. Let's see what else. Yeah, she handed him her wig, says Greg. That's huge for her. Luxwana needs more screen time, says Empire Jeff. Yeah, I would agree. Yes, that was, yeah. Powerful moments for sure. What do you guys think of Dramatis Personae, episode 18, while I read your guys' comments? It's a classic tale. Lock two people who can't stand each other in a room and see what happens. Exactly. Forsaken is one of the best Troy episodes, says Jonathan. Big Gator says Forsaken is good. Dion says it's great. Cody says it's good. Jimmy says indeedy with a thumbs up. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so we're getting some results for Dramatis Personae. Odo can't get into a bucket drama. I would love to see an episode where Odo is just scrambling to get into a bucket. Let's see. Dramatis Personae, as much as I want to say great, I would say good. I kind of forgot about it. It's okay, says Dion. It's okay, says Jonathan. It's okay, says David. It's good, I guess, says Silent Evil. You're not really very convinced on that, are you? It's good, says E. It's good. It's fun watching the characters showcase some rage. I think it's good. Great, says Greg. Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a good episode overall. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's okay. Like A Man Alone, Q-less, and Vortex are episodes that I, for the most part, don't really think about anymore. Meh episodes are episodes I think about, but they're just like meh episodes in general. Okay episodes are episodes I don't really think about at all. I think about Dramatis Personae sometimes. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, everyone, but sometimes I do think about this episode. It's just like the episode itself, I think you could do it a little bit better in terms of the way that it is handled, the way the story is executed. But that being said, it is still so much fun to see the characters be evil, to see the characters butt heads, to see Sisko like yelling with rage. I haven't really seen Sisko yelling with rage in this season yet, and this episode delivered it, and I'm so excited if he does that again later on in the show. I am so excited to see him doing that later on, because that would be so much fun. That would be so cool. Kira being evil, she is so menacing as a villain, and I would love to see evil Kira at least one more time, because she was just like extremely fun to be around. So that was awesome. And yeah, I think overall, all I can say, the clock was in this episode, guys. Don't even get me started on the clock. Why was Sisko making that random clock on his desk? He was so excited. It doesn't even resemble a clock. It's like 8 different pieces, so I don't really know what to make of it, but it's definitely the weirdest clock I've ever seen. But also, like, Cisco's really good at handiwork for some reason if he could make that clock. So maybe that will come into play later on in the story. I don't really know, but it was a fun episode. That's what I have to say. It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I remember it. I think about it sometimes. It was a lot of fun to see evil people, to see Dax O'Brien, you know, Cisco, Kira, butt heads at each other, Bashir, butt heads at each other, and Odo just kind of in the middle like, guys, let's all be friends. I thought that was awesome. Okay, duet. What do you guys think? I'm going to read the chat. Iron Bear Milk said it's a guilty pleasure of his. That's pretty awesome. Viperide, Vipryde. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I'm going to say Viperide. It's okay because it didn't affect Frank in any way. Oh, you're just on about Frank, but I love it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Imagine if Frank became like the villain. He was just like standing at the command post. Whoa, that would be so awesome. Duet is automatic peak stuff. Yeah, duet is automatic peak stuff, I think. But let's just see what other people say. There might be an opinion in there, because there were some people who said okay on the poll. So if anyone's here that thinks duet is not peak, then type up why you think duet is not peak. No, it's okay, Big Gator, that you hit send early. Which one was duet again? Was it the singing episode? Yeah, Alan Moraine, count to 4. It's that episode, the peak one, right? Duet is peak. Duet is above peak. Second fave Trek episode ever, behind TNG's Drumhead, which I haven't seen, but some people told me that was a good episode. It's peak. It's very good, Empire Jeff said. So not peak. Duet is peak. Obviously, duet is nothing short of peak stuff. For the greater glory of Cardassia! Peak, it has the same writers as TNG's Inner Light. Well, that episode is probably my favorite episode of TNG. So this episode, Duet, has to be peak as well. Duet is peak. And I don't care if anyone thinks it's not peak. But it seems like most people think that Duet is peak. Because this episode is just... I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a beautiful episode to watch. The way that they managed to have Kira change so much from the start of the episode to the end of the episode was truly phenomenal. And even though it feels like huge progress, it's still probably baby steps in terms of her coming to terms with what she has done in her past, in terms of Kira, like, understanding that just because all of this stuff happened in the past, it doesn't mean that, like, every Cardassian will have been involved. It's like war in real life, if you know what I mean. Like, right now, I don't know where my book is, but I'm reading this book. I'm just going to get it really quickly. Okay, I'm reading this book. I don't know if any of you guys have read it, called Storm of Steel at the moment. Storm of Steel. Don't know if you guys can see it there. But Storm of Steel, if you guys are not aware, it's about a German soldier in World War One. And it's written by a German soldier, like one of the soldiers who fought in World War One. And so it's really interesting because coming from, you know, Canada, North America, you always hear about, like, the North American, the American, British, French, you know what, like, their side of the war, especially if you watch, like, World War II and stuff, you always hear about the Allied versions of the war and stuff, and, you know, the German side of the war, they were always, like, every single one of them, horrible people. But then when you read this book, for instance, it, like a lot of the soldiers didn't want to fight, or they were forced to fight, and stuff like that. And it's really, really, really interesting to read. And so, I mean, give it a shot if you want to read, like, a book that's very harrowing and very, I don't know, it's a very interesting book. But Duet kind of reminded me of that, where Kira is I don't know, an American soldier, for instance, and the Cardassians are a German soldier. And basically Kira's looking at the Cardassians and seeing them as the other, seeing them as someone completely different from herself, someone who could have no mercy, no remorse for anything. But some of the Cardassians didn't really want to fight, in a way. I know this is not the best analogy because the Cardassians occupied Bajor, so that's a little different than just a complete war. The Cardassians actually, like, occupied completely, took over Bajor, and all of the Bajorans and stuff were in prison camps and stuff like that. But there were still some Cardassians out there that didn't want to fight or didn't agree with that. You know what I mean? And that's something that is hard to realize, especially if you've been part of this war on the side that's being oppressed. because there's no, I don't know, there's no like, how do I describe this? How do I describe this, chat? There's just like, I don't know, you've just been so hurt by these people that you can't really see any good from them at all, if that makes any sense. And yeah, I think that's what the beauty of this episode was. It allowed Kira to see something that she had never seen in a different light before, in a different light. We'd seen Cardassians in a different light before with Star Trek Lower Decks, not the animated show or anything, but that episode, The Lower Decks, in Star Trek The Next Generation, where we have that good Cardassian, which was super interesting. And so, you know, seeing a good Cardassian again, seeing a Cardassian regretful of the things that he saw, regretful of the things that his people did, it was just really interesting. And seeing Kira understand that at the end of the episode, saying that, like, just because he's a Cardassian isn't enough of a reason to kill him anymore, from to that guy who stabs and kills him at the very end. It was just like, it was very beautiful, and it was a very nice way to end, with Kira looking at a Bajoran that was her at the start of the episode and seeing herself reflected in him and realizing where she needs to learn and where she needs to grow. Peak episode overall. What do you guys think of In the Hands of Prophets? But I could talk about Duet for a long time because it's an amazing episode, amazingly acted, amazingly directed, just amazing everything. I'm going to read your chats because I think I missed some. New category above peak. Frank peak. Peak. Put Duet there. Should be frankly peak stuff and then peak stuff. That would be really fun. It's a masterclass in acting and writing, says Big Gator. Duet is stunning stuff. It's a super good ride. Yeah, I agree. Jalen says it's amazing acting all around. Jonathan says the Duet writer comes back for the Pale Moonlight episode. People have been name dropping that episode, and so I'm so excited to see what that episode holds. Peter Allen Fields, hero writer of DS9's first 2 seasons, returns for more peak episodes occasionally. He just like says Graham, he just like occasionally he stops writing and he's like, I'm gonna come back and write a masterpiece, and then he leaves and he comes back again and writes another masterpiece. I'm glad that you recognize that, says Big Gator. More Shades of Grey in DS9, says David. Yeah, exactly. In the Hands of Prophets is a great story about the unnecessary and unwarranted division between science and religion, which promotes the middle ground. More on this in future episodes. Greg says when she realizes that he underwent plastic surgery, you see her face change. The next scene, the wind is all but out of her sails. She knows she's made some realizations. Yeah. In the Hands of Prophets is great, says Dion. In the Hands of Prophets, I say, was great. Yeah, best one. I don't know if Empire Jeff is talking about In the Hands of Prophets or Duet, but he could be talking for either good or great. I think everyone in the Hands of Prophets is great. I think it is a really great episode. I think it is really close to peak stuff for me, but I don't think it ever hits Emissary, Progress, or Duet. But I think if it ever came close, it would be close to Progress. I think Progress is the closest to just a great episode in the peak stuff category, but In the Hands of Prophets, I'd say is super close. It's like this, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a little bit over halfway to peak stuff, but it's not quite peak stuff, so I have to put it in great. But basically, In the Hands of Prophets, amazing season finale. It sets up, one sec, I have to cough, so everyone just cover your ears. Thank you. It sets up the the 3-parter of season 2, which is an amazing 3-parter, as well as it feels like it sets up so much more down the line as well. It sets up the debacle between science and religion, the prophets and the scientific explanations of the wormhole and stuff like that. It sets up Vedic Win as this antagonist that I want to see more of and stuff like that. It sets up that other guy, that nice Vedic, I forget what his name is at the moment, but he's pretty awesome as well, you know what I mean? And this really goes into season 2, the first 3 episodes at least for sure, and I'm sure it's gonna go even more down the line. You know, the music in this episode was absolutely phenomenal. We get Cisco slow-mo diving at the end, which was super cheesy and super fun and super epic and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it was just a really good way to end season 1, and I'm really excited to get into well, I've already gotten into season 2, but I'm really excited to continue down into season 2, and this episode made me really excited to get into season 2. You know what I mean? I was like, we ended with Duet and In the Hands of Prophets. It was like such a high note, and then you jump into season 2 and it's even more high notes because the first 3 episodes are absolutely phenomenal as well. So I think that's going to be like, I think this is the tier list. Do you guys have any, I don't know, qualms? Is that a word? Qualms? I don't know. Issues with this tier list at all? If you do, write them down or let you be at peace. You know what I mean? This will be the final version of the tier list. Empire Jeff said, goodbye to the school. Exactly. No more school. The kids must love this episode. In the Hands of Prophets is the prologue that I don't know what the acronym, I don't know what THTCTS stands for. I know it's probably the name of the very first episode, or the, it's the Homecoming, the Circle, the Siege 3-parter. There we go. I got it. Burial, is that his name? The other Vedic guy, Burial? Yeah. Looks good. Tier list is more than fair. The season finale largely sets up the following season. Just wait until you get to season 2's finale. I've heard season 2 finale is absolutely amazing. Silent Evil said it's a solid tier list with a thumbs up. The thumbs up really helps, you know what I mean? Lets me know that it's a solid tier list. Okay. I think the tier list is done. If you guys have any... It's like I have to cough again for some reason. Maybe I'm just in a coughing mood today. I got there in the end, Dion. Thank you. I got there in the end. But if you guys have any questions for me, I'll stay and answer questions for, 5 minutes. And then I'm going to head off and eat breakfast because it's 10 a.m. and I'm very hungry. So if you guys have any questions for me, then just put them in the chat. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And then I'll say a big thank you. And we'll head off with our days. You know what I mean? So Greg said season 2 finale changes everything. And that is very exciting for me to hear. Season 2 finale changes everything? How can it change everything? What does that mean? You guys are teasing me with this. Big Gator says season 2 is just the beginning. Silent Evil says the end of season 2 really kind of sets the trajectory of where the rest of the series is heading. So that's crazy. Greg said, what are you most looking forward to in season 2? That's a good question. You know, if I hadn't seen season 2 yet, I would have said the 3-parter at the start because I was really excited to see how Star Trek DS9 handles continued stories. You know what I mean? Because I know the show is serialized later on, but right now it's episodic. So I was excited to see what a serialized version of the show would be with a 3-episode parter. So that would have been the thing. I mean, maybe it's the season finale because people keep hyping it up, but more just character development. I'm hoping Odo gets more character development in this because I feel like they were teasing him a lot in season 1, but he didn't get too much in season 1. I want some more Trill stuff, which we got actually at the start of season 2, which was awesome. Some Quark stuff, which we got at season 2. Some Frank stuff. I just want to see more Frank. There's an episode that just starts on a close-up of Frank's beautiful face. And that's what I want. I just want an episode of Frank's beautiful face. That's about it. But really just character stuff. I just want to see I don't know, the characters evolve into versions of themselves that were different than the start of season 2, if that makes any sense. But I'm mostly just excited to watch because the show is so awesome. Silent Evil says more Frank Mord. Exactly, more Frank Mord. David says more Cisco shouting. I am Cisco shouting? No, I want Cisco to be shouting. I want Cisco to be shouting every scene he's in because he's so powerful when he shouts. Oh, it's serial now and I just don't know it yet? I mean, yeah, it feels like there are definitely plot things that are overlapping. Like the Dominion, for instance, is something that was said in the Rules of Acquisition episode, but it's definitely going to be something that happens later. So I can see this serialized, but the episodes themselves are still mostly self-contained. Sue the Scottish Geek, great name by the way, says, do you have any predictions for what will happen with the characters going forward? No. Well, okay. I know that Cisco shaves his head at some point, not because people told me, but because I saw it before I watched the show. I don't know how I saw it or where I saw it. I was just online and I don't know. I Star Trek things scrolled past it. It was Cisco and he was bald. And then when I started watching the show, he wasn't bald. So I put two and two in together, and I know he goes bald at some point or something like that. But I'm excited to see that. I don't think it's in season 2, but I think it's later on in the show. So that would be awesome. Um, Besides that, what was the question again? I think I just went off track because I was thinking about Cisco's bald head. Bald head. I want Kira. It would be really interesting to see Kira working with the Cardassians. That would be interesting in some, like, I don't think she'd ever work with the Cardassian government or anything, but in terms of working with maybe a Cardassian or two that are apart from the government, that would be really interesting because that would really show her progress as a character. I want to see Quark work with the Dominion. That would be super interesting. I want to see the Dominion in general. There are just so many things that I want to see, so many things that I want to do. I mean, I can't really do any of them because it's a show, but I want to do everything. You know, I want to go on DS9 and stuff like that. And yeah. Yeah, Jalen says it's the leveling up. Cisco needs to be bald like Riker's beard. Exactly. That's what I think. When Cisco goes bald, the show goes from great to amazing. Let's see. Any other questions? Something interesting was that season 2 DS9 and the last season of TNG were airing at the same time. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, someone said, I've gotten some comments that said I need to watch these 2 TNG episodes in between these other 2 DS9 episodes, where I watch like one of the episodes and then I watch one TNG episode, 2 DS9 episodes, and then I think it's called like the Pegasus or something like that. No, not the Pegasus. I don't know, something like that for the last TNG episode. And it's like these 4 episodes kind of go together as like a quadrilogy, if you will, of episodes. Okay, I'm going to answer one more episode because my stomach is actually so is so unbelievably hungry and I want to eat toast so bad. So let's pick one last question over here. And it goes to Greg because it's the very last one. Have you watched TOS Day of the Dove? You should watch that before you watch DS9 Season 2 Bloodlines. I have not watched Day of the Dove, but I've heard that I should watch it, so maybe I'll get around to it. I don't know if I'll react to it or if it'll just be on my own time, but I will hopefully be watching that episode before I watch Bloodlines. E said, how do we get gifts to you? I don't think I have a postal code or anything. Actually, that's a good question. I don't think I have a PO box or anything like that. Basically, if you join my Patreon, you can message me and I'll send you like a PO box that I have, but I won't give it out on YouTube and stuff like that. But that's the only way that you would be able to send stuff to me. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for the chats and stuff like that. I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you so much to everyone who joined, and thank you so much to everyone who watched and stayed. It's been a long one. How long was this? Like an hour and 20 minutes? Wow. So if you stayed the whole time, then thank you so much. I hope you had a lot of fun ranking the episodes with me. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys and ranking the episodes. I'm pretty proud of this tier list overall. I think it's a very good tier list. I think the top 3 especially encapsulate the season very, very well. And 2 of them are Kira episodes. So just saying, Kira equals the best character. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hope you have an excellent day, an amazing day, a wonderful day. If it's the morning, if it's the afternoon, if it's the evening, whatever it is, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this stream, and I'll see you next time for the next stream, which will be on YouTube, will probably be after the next Star Trek finale, so the season 2 finale. But I'm also thinking about doing a Halloween stream for a Halloween movie with you guys, so keep an eye out for that. That will be a public YouTube stream as well. I also stream on my Patreon. One sec, I need to cover my face. I also stream on my Patreon once a month. We have a monthly movie club where you can vote on movies. There's a movie vote poll going on right now on the Patreon, and we just watch movies together on the Patreon. It's really fun once a month. And yeah, Besides that, thank you, Frank. Hope you guys have a lot of fun for the rest of the day, or just have a good, relaxing day in general. And yeah, I will see you next time for the next stream for next week for Star Trek Season 2 starting on YouTube, which will be awesome. And yeah, goodbye, everyone, and I'll see you then.